first thing that we're going to master is we're going to understand the purpose of each step. When you understand the purpose, you will innately know how to deploy that step. The words will themselves flow. All right? So step number 1 will be introduction. Step number 2 is story. Step number 3 is content. Step number 4 is transition. And step number 5 is pitch. So moving right along. Sorry about the PowerPoint issue there at the top. Moving right along. The purpose of the introduction, right, is to engage. There's one question that every consumer wants answered right from the beginning. Can anyone tell me what that question is? Yes. What's in it for me? What do you got? So, hi, my name is Anik Singal. I'm so glad that you've come to this page today. I'm a 5-time Emmy Award-winning, Grammy-winning, Nobel Prize-winning, awesome kick-butt guy, and I want to talk to you today. Man, you have checked out so long ago. You saw that shiny object spinning over there, you're gone. Versus, are you looking to lose 20 pounds? I just lost 100. I'm going to share with you exactly how I did it. Now you're like, what's in it for me? So the purpose, engage. Hey, read me, watch me. The purpose of the introduction is to convince someone to absorb the sales material. So, what's in it for me does not mean what's in it for me if I buy the product. What's in it for me if I watch this presentation? So earlier, when I started this, I was going to say webinars, I'm so used to doing webinars. When I started this workshop, does anyone remember what my first slide was? You guys were so blown away. It's just like so awesome. You don't even remember. It said, in this workshop, you will learn. Boom, 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 boom. One of the things I want you guys to pay attention to, and this is really fun, this is the funnest part of me presenting copywriting, is as I go through these steps, I want you to focus and think about how I've done these very steps on you while we're in this room. And you'll have one of those like, holy crap moments. So right from the beginning, I shared with you. Now, you're physically in this room. I could have taken a lot longer to get to the point. You'd still sit here because you're physically here. But imagine being online. Imagine watching a video. Just a back button, right? So the introduction, purpose, convince them to stay. The length of the introduction is directly relevant to the price and the length of your presentation. So in a webinar, my introduction will be about 3-4 minutes. Never in a video sales letter. My video sales letter is probably 15-20 minutes. So my introduction might be 30 seconds to a minute. But my webinar is an hour and a half to 2 hours. So it's a direct correlation. How much time am I asking you for? The more time I'm asking you for, the longer my introduction. The more value I build up front. The more I need to convince you of what's in it for you to stay for that entire time. So the other thing I love to do in an introduction is to create open loops. So in my introduction, I said I will share with you the 5 steps. I will share with you how direct marketing is dead. I said a couple of bold things. You're like, whoa. And I kept saying, don't worry, I'll share with you later. I will tell you why I said that. At the end, I even set up the offer. That, hey, there will be a discount, wait for it, right? I also removed all concern or all panic about it by saying, don't worry, if you don't want to buy, you don't have to buy, it's all good. But I set up open loops. Got you thinking, wondering. The more open loops I can set up, the earlier, the longer you'll stay with me. Because the psychology behind that is this. We are, as humans, we need closure. Right? What's the number one thing you hear after a bad breakup? I just need closure. We need closure for everything. So if I can open loops and make you wait for closure, you're going to stay. That's a completely subconscious thing happening. You won't even realize it. So that's introduction. Okay? Now moving on to step number 2, which is story. Everyone that I see that starts in copywriting does story wrong. So for those of you who've not been through Copywriting Academy, what do you think the purpose of story is? What's that? Emotion, to create emotion. Okay. Anyone else? Align values. Okay. All right. There you go. Exact words. Most people use story to build credibility. I have received these awards, have said degree, so-and-so says I'm awesome, me. I don't really care. People don't really care. They'll be impressed, but they're not going to give you money just because they're impressed with you. So the purpose of story is to connect. It's to create a scene and to create a situation in which you can tell the person that, look, if I can do it, you can do it. So relationship, connection, and that innately leads to trust. So a story is actually not to build yourself up. In many ways, ironically, a story is to build yourself down, right? So Batman versus Robin. A lot of people come at story and they say, I'm Batman. Look at me. I can do anything. I saved the world. So if I came to you and I said, you should, what are you doing? Why are you sitting here? You should be out saving the world. Batman does it. What would you say? I'm not Batman. I'm not a multi-billionaire in the perfect shape, having committed my entire life to living in the darkness and saving the world. Just here to learn some copywriting, right? But let's turn that around. Hey, tonight, Batman needs a ride. You just have to take him down the street. He wants to save the world. Can you drive him? Yeah, so she could be Robin, right? So don't set yourself up as Batman unless you are what you're selling. So if you're a consultant, set yourself up as Batman. But if you set yourself up as Batman and you're selling a product, in the end, there's a subconscious disconnect. The consumer is not actually getting what they really want, which is you. They're getting a product. So what do? You set yourself up as the one that is so privileged and honored to have access to the system. To be the chosen one that was chosen to discover this awesome discovery. And now you may also have this awesome discovery. You don't need me. I'm just the vehicle. So let's go back to my story for this very event. I told you how much I suck at writing. True story. My first D-. The advice I got from my own English teacher. How much I fought against that individual who wanted to teach me copywriting. But you know what? I was so fortunate to have met Justin Ford, which I was. How many of you want to bet your entire future as entrepreneurs on your ability to meet Justin Ford? Or, I already did the hard work. Here, come, I'll take you along. My screen just went off. All the screens just went off. Yes! Oh, that was good. Even I forgot. Let's give the AV team a big round of applause, everybody. That's so good. I totally forgot to do the yes, and you guys remember. All right. You know what it was, is the TV screens were like, don't give away all the secrets, man. This is too much. How are we ever going to sell anything anymore? I laugh because I share this stuff, and sometimes in my head I'm like, man, these people will not buy stuff from me ever again. Right? But here's the cool thing. If I got the right offer, even if you know my system, you can't resist it. It's all about the right offer to the right person. So if you go back to my story, you'll see that I immediately created relationship, connection, and trust. I told you, you don't need to be a Pulitzer Prize winning writer. As a matter of fact, if you are, that might be a disadvantage. I would rather work with a common man. So, in your story, you want to actually build and talk about the discovery of the system, the process and how you discovered this system, not in how awesome you are. So remember my story, I walked you all the way through my relationship with writing and how that evolved to me meeting Justin and how that evolved to me being at the event and how that evolved into me finally learning copywriting. So I shared with you the journey, but subconsciously, I took you through years. And in your mind, you thought, I want to do all that. You know what, Anik? I'm just going to give you some money. Just give me that system right there. That's what we want. Yes? Yes. All right. How many of you have had a little bit of an aha moment? Raise your hand if something I've shared has connected at some level. Higher. Come on. Wow. Okay, everybody. I think I just bullied that out of you. All right. All right, so let's move on to step number 3, content. Another very, very misunderstood step. Here's a step that completely did not exist. It did not exist 20 years ago. As a matter of fact, if you talk to most traditional copywriters, they will tell you content. Don't do that. You'll ruin your pitch. You will ruin your close rate. Don't do that. Don't do that. But here's the problem. You are a wise consumer now. So what do you think is the true purpose of content? Yes, right here. Aha moment. All right. We have one here. Yeah. To educate. All right. Information. Selling the benefits. Make the sale. We're getting close. Nikki? To help them understand why they need to work. Okay, we're getting close. All right, ready? It's just one word. Credibility. Most people do credibility in story. That's not where it's needed. You want me to buy from you? Prove to me you know enough. Why should you listen to me about copywriting? Because I'm going to share stuff with you right now that you're going to walk out and it will be valuable for you. And I don't have to tell you, hey, I know my stuff. You're going to walk out and say, that guy knows his stuff. So I do it in the actual content. That's how I build my value. By showing you things, by proving things to you, by revealing things to you. And that comes back to the aha moments. Absolutely. Aha moments equate directly to sales. What's an aha moment? An aha moment is when I say the what of something that makes you go, whoa, didn't think of it that way. But I don't give you the how. So I got you thinking about the Batman versus Robin. For some of you in this room, that may have been an aha. Yeah, wow, I see people doing that they shouldn't do that. I get it. And I move right along, and you feel very satisfied. You got good value. It's only until you leave this room where you say, wait a minute, how? And that's when I'm right there to say, please sign up for Copywriting Academy. Thank you very much. Right? So give the content for the aha. Now, there is such a thing as too few ahas, and there's also such a thing as too many ahas. I like to stick in the 3 to 5 number range. Here's the problem with giving 10 ahas. I use this as an example. How many of you have ever been to a Tony Robbins event? Raise your hands. Hi. Okay, not very many. A few. Okay. Here is how most people come out of a Tony Robbins event. Ready? I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's go. I can take over the world. I'll conquer everything. And you say, man, you look charged up. What'd you learn? I don't know. I'm just ready. Well, what did he teach you? Just how to be badass, man. I'm ready. Let's do this. You know why? Way too many aha moments took place in there. Way too many. Now, that's great. It's good for an event where you paid money to go. But it ain't that great for an event where I need to sell you something at the end. Because what's going to happen is if you get too many ahas, you're so overwhelmed with value, you say, let me go process all that first. Let me think about it. And I'll come back. That's the death of a sale. Anytime anyone says that, let me think about it, I literally say, all right, man, it was nice, good knowing you. See ya. Like, wait, I'm going to think about it. No, you're not. You've decided no. It's okay. So, aha moments are incredibly, incredibly important. Now, how do I love to structure my content? Look, again, coming back to the short attention span, linear thinking is incredibly important. People think linear. People need step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6. That's what they need. Otherwise, they get lost. If I was over here sharing the concept of copywriting with you, going through the steps without labeling them out, and just bouncing. Imagine I bounced from introduction, then I was like, oh yeah, by the way, when you're transitioning to the close, you do this here. Oh, when you do the content, make sure you do this. You may walk away with some, oh wow, that was smart, that sounded good, but at the end, you're going to leave confused. A confused consumer never buys. Ever. It's very hard to get a confused consumer to purchase anything. So we do things like this. Some of you may have seen this diagram. It's made me tens of millions. It's when I describe email marketing. Or you may have seen this. Or you may have seen the very diagram that I've been using in this presentation. Nice and linear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I teach you, I say, we are now in step 1. Teach, 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 teach. We are now in step 2. Teach, teach. We are now, there's no point at which you will be lost. All right? So keep your content linear, but you've got to deliver value, but you've also got to focus on the what, not the how. Do not teach the how, you will lose the sale. Now, here's the last piece. Many people wrongfully assume the following. They wrongfully assume that the pitch is where you get the sale. Let me tell you something. That is not where you get the sale. It is in content that you get the sale. Let me go back to when you were on a webinar. Every single person in this room who's been on a webinar said that before they go on the webinar, they are fully aware of the fact that there will be a pitch. So let me ask you something. When I start the pitch, or when someone starts the pitch, why are you still there? Why are you still watching and listening? You're already sold. What's the only question in your mind at that time? How much? How sold are you? You're already sold. You wouldn't even, you know what? On every webinar I have ever done in the history of me doing webinars, 10 to 15% of the audience will always leave as I go into pitch. Always. I have tried to beat those odds over and I've quit now. It's just math, it's science. Why? Because even if what I offer is free, those people are not interested. It doesn't solve their current problem. So I didn't get the sale. There is nothing I'm going to say in that pitch that's going to make someone say, you know what, I don't want your product, I don't need your product, I don't even like your product, but damn, that pitch was good, I'm buying. Nothing. There's nothing. So this is where you get the sale. This is where you convince someone to buy from you. Moving right along, we get into the transition. Now this is an interesting part of the sales process. So what do you think? Call out. What do you think the purpose of a good transition is? Someone? Yes, I see a hand. Sorry. Go ahead. Okay, to move someone's psychology from receiving information to taking action. It's actually even simpler. The end result is probably that, but the answer is even simpler. Anyone? Set them up for the offer. We had another one in the back. I'm sorry, can you say that?
Build value.
Build value. Okay, so the answer is answer the why. Here's the deal. If you've done a great job in step 1, 2, and 3, you're kind of like their buddy. They feel all warm and tingly because of you. You've given them all this value. So imagine this, your friend calls you, your best friend in the world calls you. You pick up the phone, you're like, hey Joe, what's up? And Joe's like, hey man, I'm doing great. Hey listen, I want to sell you this pair of knives. I'm going to give you a great deal on it right now. If you make this, if you decide yes before we hang up the phone, I'll give you 50%. You're going to be like, Joe, what the heck is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Wait. Now, let's change that scenario. Joe calls you, you answer the phone. Joe says, I don't got time to talk. I'm at a store, there's a 50% off sale going on here. I was driving by, the place is going out of business. I just bought a pair of knives that are freaking awesome. Do you want me to buy you one too? Look at how the whole scenario just changed. Now, had Joe not called you, you'd have been upset. Why didn't you tell me? Versus the first time when he just started selling you knives, you got upset. Why are you selling me? So what happens is answer the why. Why do I need to ask you for money? This doesn't have to be a nifty answer, by the way. In many cases, it's just as simple as, this is how I make my money. This is how I make my living. Right? If you're a consultant or a contractor, like, hey, to build your home, I need to charge you for the labor and the supplies. Right? That's innately enough of a why. Right? Hey, I'm selling you training because I have coaches, I have staff, I have physical location, I have hard costs, this is what I do, this is my full time, this is how I eat. That's enough for many people. Right? But in some situations, that's what I love about CarMax, right? They start at the transition. You walk in there like, this is how much we make, this is what the deal is. We're just here to help you buy whatever car's right for you. So they remove, it's all about removing that tension of the sale. So the elephant's in the room, right? Just address it. It's literally like, yes, you will be sold someday, but relax, it's okay. You know? The energy and the tone, now this is really important. This is how most people go about selling. So most people go about selling, they love, like we're innately teachers, right? Most people who go into like the content business, we love to give value to people. So during that time, we're high energy, we feel good, we're so proud of ourselves, we're like, wow, we're really helping this person out. You know, even when we're doing like a demo of a physical product or whatever, we're like, whoa, look how cool this is awesome. And then as soon as it's time for pitch, so if it's okay with you, I'd like to tell you more about how you can get this product. And it's a really good product. And it's, do you know what message you're sending to the other person? You don't like your own damn product. So if you ever watch me on a webinar or anything, my energy and tone goes whew. During the transition and pitch, I pick things up. And that's not artificial. I'm genuinely excited. Right? I'm genuinely excited. I always use the example of like, if you have the cure for cancer, and you find out 3 doors down, a neighbor that you were very fond of just got cancer. It's right here. You literally, if I get this in their hands, they won't have cancer anymore. Are you just going to go to the door and say, hey, I have something for you. It'll help you. Right? You will be bang, 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 bang. And if they don't answer the door, you'll be at the window, bang, bang, bang. You'll be calling their phone. You'll be calling their whoever's number else you have, sliding notes under the door. You'll be doing whatever you could to get that message out to them. That is confidence in your product. Right? So that all gets established during a transition. Now, at the same time, what's happening is there's a transfer happening from subconscious to conscious. This is a very, very important psychological concept to understand. All along, this formula has been working on the subconscious. We have been building a relationship, getting to know one another, building trust, building credibility, building value, right? And the subconscious is there, and it's like, yes, this is awesome. I love this person. This is what I've been looking for. And so imagine this. I always imagine the conscious and the subconscious talking to each other. And the conscious says, you know what? You crazy, impulsive, nutty thing. I give you 3 things you can ask me to evaluate for you per month. That's it. That's what you get. Use them wisely. So it is during the transition that the subconscious says, I really want to. Do I tell the conscious? No. Is this enough? Is this worth it? Should I use one of my cards or not? Now, when your tone goes down, the subconscious says, oh, whoa, what just happened? Maybe I got, what's going on? We got to hold this off. I want to cash in this favor right now. But when the tone goes up and everything still looks solid, the subconscious says, that's it, I'm cashing in. Come on, conscious, look at it. Look at this deal. And that's when we move into the pitch. And that's the part where the conscious mind steps up and says, all right, hold on, move aside, I got this. What's this guy up to? Let's have a look at this offer. Right? So the transition, albeit so short, plays a pivot role. Now, I will say this. The transition makes a lot of people very uncomfortable. So unless you have gotten experience and you're comfortable selling, if you're going to do it awkwardly, don't do it. Because a lot of people will fumble and stumble and say things, and they'll actually kill. You can destroy a sale in a transition. So if you're going to make it awkward, or if it doesn't feel comfortable, rip the Band-Aid. Simply say, ladies and gentlemen, now that you've learned this, I would like to share with you how we can work together. Let me tell you more about my program called Copywriting Academy. And just move right into it. That's your choice. You get to choose which one you want to do. Now, moving on to step number 5. What is the purpose of step number 5? I've already given it away once. Yes, sir? Confirm the sale. He's been through my course, I have a feeling. Yeah. Shook his hand. Yes. Confirm the sale. Not get the sale. Confirm the sale. Here's the thing. Learn this and understand this. The dark side of the human nature. Man, we want a deal. You know, when you're in a negotiation, I love it. People say, let's go for a win-win. Ain't no such thing as a win-win. Okay? You know what a win-win is? Each party thinks it won. That's what a win-win is. Each party thinks it got one over the other one. That's the only way a transaction takes place. People innately want to take advantage. The more they feel they are taking advantage of something, the more likely they are to want to act and then close it. So you drive down the street all the time, right? And your local neighbor, Joe, has this great store, sells antiques and all this great stuff. You always drive by, you're like, man, I should stop by. That place looks neat. I wonder what's in there. Never do. Except one day, going out of sale, 50% off. Hey, Joe, what's going on? Oh, so sorry to hear. As you're shoving things in your bag, right? Had you shown up earlier, maybe Joe wouldn't be out of business. Just showing up during the 50% off sale, right? We did, during the grand opening of this very Lurn Center, we did a 5 or 6 day push where he said our products are 50% off. I didn't know what to expect. Oh my God. It was rampant. They were buying up like crazy. They were buying 3, 4, 5 programs at one time because it's a great deal, right? It's an awesome deal. So the other story that I always tell is the story of me buying my house. So the house that we bought recently, it's been a year and a half now that we moved in. When I first went, I went to the model house. Oh, whoa, this place is amazing. I love it. All right, I want it. And so I put that first little deposit check. It's like, like $500 or some $5,000 or whatever. Then we negotiate. Like I know the formula, so I will get a deal. I negotiate on everything. If you're like, you want water? I'm like, how about water with ice? Like that's just innate nature. So I negotiate. Takes forever, and finally we win. They're like, all right, we'll do it for this. Put your deposit down. I walk in, wrote the check, put the deposit, walk out the door and think, what did I just do? I just signed up for a very expensive endeavor. What if we want to move? What if I don't like this house? What if the builder screws up the house? What if I find a better house a month from now? Am I really ready to make this commitment? I started having a panic attack a little bit. Right? And then things happened. The house, they kept delaying it. They won't build it. Things are running late. They're not building it. One after the other. We're getting frustrated. It's been months now. This was like the 3rd time this was happening to us, by the way. This was like the 3rd house it was happening to us on. Super frustrating. And one day, I used to kind of wonder, I'm like, man, I wish I could just get my money back. I'm too nervous about this. Because if I walked from the deal at that point, I'd lose my deposit, which is a big amount. So one day I get this very casual email from the builder. We have decided not to build your home. So what we'd like for you to do is sign the attached addendum and please submit it back and we'll be happy to give you your deposit back. Well, that's odd. Why don't you want to build my home? right? And this whole time I've been dealing with lawyers. So they've been dealing with my lawyers. I thought, this is ridiculous. So I forwarded to my lawyers, and in my head, and in my heart, I'm a little bit like, yeah, I have an out. Take it if you want. But the other side of me is like, what's going on here? What do I not know? So I tell my realtor and my lawyer, I said, go find out why they don't want to build a house. So they go beat on the realtor, or on the developer. Finally, the developer breaks and tells the truth. The developer basically says, man, we're not making any money. We're actually losing money on this house. We misnegotiated it. We need to get out. They call me and tell me that. I said, you did build my damn house. I want that house. I want 3 of them. I want them to be connected. You get me that house. You promised me you get me that house. All of a sudden, I have never had a single doubt in my mind. I walk around the house. I'm so proud that builder lost money on that house. So proud. It's probably the biggest achievement I've had in the last 3 years. Confirmed the sale, though. Right? So I wanted a deal. So your job during a pitch is to talk to the conscious mind. The conscious mind is simple. If I give you 10, what do you give me back? If I give you $100, what do you give me back? Whatever you give me back, I need to value it much more than the money that I'm giving you. Everyone wants an overwhelming deal. So we applied this very formula. This is one of my most proud achievements because this man, Les Brown, is arguably one of the best stage speakers to have ever lived. And along with being one of the best stage speakers to have ever lived, you can sell, right? Because that's what stage speaking is all about. It's about commanding attention. It's about selling someone to pay attention to. This man can sell. He sold over $65 million worth of products from the stage. And he literally says that the way I do it, he's like, I wish I knew this years ago. It's so much easier. We made him over $1 million in 2016 alone when we were working with him. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the copywriting formula that I have used for years now. Notice how I did not talk about the words that I use. Yes, I can talk about the words, and yes, we do inside Copywriting Academy, but it's not going to be useful to you unless you understand the psychology behind it, until you understand the reason behind each of the steps. Does that make sense? Yes? All right, how many of you are glad you were here to hear this presentation? Yes? Awesome. All right, do we have any questions? Any burning questions? We'll have time for a few. I'm actually a little bit ahead of schedule, so. Yes, and I don't think we need the mic. I'll just repeat the question. Go ahead. Go back a slide. Yeah, I got you. All right, there you go. All right, any other question? Question. Yes, sorry, I couldn't see your hand. From content to pitch, what the transition is? Yeah.
Can you tell the transition again, please?
Okay.
What we should...
I don't want to repeat the whole thing again.
Just in a minute.
And we do have it on camera, so you'll be able to definitely watch the replay of it. The transition is to answer the why. Why are you selling me something? I thought we were friends. Why can't I have it for free? Simple. Why can't you just give me that? I really want it. It's awesome. I also really want to take advantage of you, so just give it to me for free. That'd be cool. I bet you if they offered me the house for free, I would be jumping all up and down. I'd sign the deal in a heartbeat, right? So it's the answer the why. Why do you need to charge me money?